Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Blake again, coming at y'all for another video. And today is kind of a lengthy one, but got the Cobra out. It's not so hot today, kind of windy, feels good. So I figured I'd get the car out and tell you guys how meeting that dude in blue again went and how he really liked the car a lot, more than I was expecting. He genuinely liked the car. So it was really cool, but let me go ahead and tell you guys how that went. Well, guys, I was able to bring the car to VMP Performance yesterday, actually. It was one of the best days that I've had in a really long time. I got to meet David again. We hung out. He remembered me like it was, yesterday. It's been 5 years since we last saw each other when I had my old SPT Contour. And it's funny enough, he was actually shooting glamour shots of a Camaro that was there. And I pulled in, and I was trying to hurry up and rush, get the car cleaned up inside and out. And he stops filming for a second, and he yells, "Hi, Blake!" And then carries on with shooting until he was able to take a break. So it was really cool. We just caught up a lot. He's a really great guy, and it was a lot of fun. Now, when he was shooting glamour shots of the Cobra, he was telling me that he thought this car was in fantastic shape for how old it is. And I told him the car has over 200,000 miles on it. He couldn't believe it. And he said that he wouldn't have thought this car had 200,000 miles on it at all. And especially he gave me a lot of props on the interior. It's a little dirty because I drove it, and it's windy, so forgive me. But he really liked the interior a lot, and told me that it's in really, really fantastic shape, which I take a lot of pride in. My dad took really good care of this car, so I'm trying to hold on to that. But like this tuxedo black, the dash and all that is still in fantastic shape. Over the years, hasn't faded in color or anything like that. All the vents are in perfect working order. So he just gave the car a lot of props for the condition. So I was really happy with that. That meant a lot to me and my dad. So believe it or not, David's never driven a Gen 1 Cobra. This one right here. And when I just told him real quick when he was walking around the car, because I was trying to just catch up with him and try to throw some points at him and just tell him some things, he didn't know that these had B heads on the car, like they were different heads compared to like the Terminator and the NA Cobras and stuff. And for instance, it's about to rain. Hold on, go ahead and crank this up real quick. I will never get tired of hearing a 4-valve. A couple revs. And one thing that was really cool that it didn't even really register in his mind until I pointed it out was the fact that the 96 to 98 Cobras had the really dark and tan interior. Well, the 94 95s did as well, but I'm particularly talking about the dual overhead cam cars only in this video. And it had the super dark, all tuxedo black, which my car has. And I told him, I was like, hey, did you ever really pay attention that the new edges and the previous cars, they have different interior colors? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if you look, I said, this car has a really, really dark, rich black in the interior, whereas like my Mach 1 and the Terminators, they have like a grayish charcoal interior. I said, in my opinion, and you guys know I love my Mach 1 and I love Terminators, I really prefer the interior of the Gen 1 Cobras way better, and I will explain why. So first of all, like I said, super gorgeous dark black. I mean, this is just nice, especially when you clean it and it's really shiny. Oh, you can't beat it. There's nothing wrong with the Mach 1 and Terminator interiors. when it comes to the colors, but I just think, in my opinion, the black looks nicer. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take my protective camera lens off. I've got a 14 Pro Max, and I am not going to break those camera lenses, but I took it off because I cracked it anyway. But yeah, you guys can see it's way nicer inside, right? And I also want to point out, you know, this is no hate on the New Edge cars. I like them, but I really think, in my opinion, I think the interiors are slightly nicer on these. I mean by that with like the panel gaps and a lot of things like that. Like my Mach 1 and the Terminator, this gap was way bigger, and like just the fitment wasn't nearly as good on a bunch of things. You even get a clock on the 96 to 98 cars, or I'm sorry, 96 and 97 had the clock, 98 did not. And it's just nicer. My bezel's in good shape. I just haven't put it on yet, so ignore that. But I just think the interiors are slightly nicer. David also said to me that he really actually enjoys how I'm setting the car up. It's not done yet at all, but it's in work in progress. What I've done so far, he enjoyed it when he drove the car. He thought for the age and the mileage, he thought the car drove well. He said it was a very comfortable car, even with the Corbo seats, and he liked my tire setup a lot. I've got big 285s in the back, big 285s in the back, and I have 265s up front because my goal for this car is to make it an all-arounder, meaning I don't want it to be super, super crazy fast in a straight line. I want it to be fun, but I want it to handle and brake and be able to carve on back roads and maybe take this on a track one day and to have fun. And because it looks like a race car. You've got the tire letters, you've got the big race wing. I have a 4-inch rear cowl hood that is being fixed. It's just taking a while. That's why I don't have my hood. And not to mention, like I said, I'm doing race car style interior. So you've got the racing wheel, you've got the race bucket seats. I have my rear seat delete in here. And what's gonna come on the car is right there. I'm removing that clock, and I have the gauge cluster already, but the Celine style gauge pod with my wideband and my boost gauge will be sitting right there. And I told him that I'm running on the Bilstein shocks and Bilstein springs on this car that was put on the car back in 2005 or 4, and they're still in really good shape. And I told David that they're very old. As a matter of fact, I have my dad's booklet in the car from all the old paperwork when my dad bought this car off of some young kid back from where we're from. He bought this car back for some kid in Wabash, Indiana. I'm from Marion, Indiana, so it wasn't too far of a drive from my dad. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I'll show you guys the paperwork. And I'll say it again. Yes, I am a big nerd, and I keep all my boxes and paperwork, okay? So this is the new pistons that are in the car now. So ignore that. I got my Wiseco K1 box that I keep, and here is the booklet right here. Yes, I put all these stickers on the booklet. But what's really neat is, let me go ahead and close this up. 1997 Cobra, 65,000 miles on it back in the day. Bilstein shocks and struts, 94 to 04 Mustang. Here's the date, 2005. There's my Mako paint job right there. And then here's all my paperwork that I kept for the engine build right here. It's all the paperwork for the motor. I take a lot of pride in keeping all this stuff. So you guys will see in the review, because I got to be a part of the video and talk, which was so cool. He let me talk about the story of the car, which meant the world to me. So David, if you ever see my YouTube channel or see this video, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. It was really cool. I've always wanted to be in one of your videos like you're doing with other people, and it was just really cool that you offered. I couldn't say no, so thank you. And I hope you guys like the video coming up. I was so excited to be in the video and talk to David and hang out that I talked a little bit about the car, not mine particularly, but there were some things that I missed out when we got done. I was like, man, cannot believe that I missed the obvious, right? So, for instance, I didn't talk about the fact that this has a T45 transmission Borg Warner instead of a TR3650 and the NA Cobra 01s and the Mach 1s and all that stuff. And I didn't talk about the fact that this had the old school plug wires and coil packs up front, and I converted the car to the COP version with the it just looks a lot cleaner for the new edge cars and the Mach 1s and all that. Totally forgot about that because I've modded the car so much. There's just a lot to talk about. I totally forgot to mention the fact that these cars are so reliable, and I forgot to mention the story of how this car has had over 200,000 miles on it. The engine's been perfectly fine, and it was my fault for driving in a rainstorm with that JLT intake, and it sucked in a bunch of water, and I ended up bending a connecting rod. But I didn't know, and that's why I built the motor to begin with, due to the age and wanting to keep the car forever. But had I not have driven in a rainstorm, the car would have been just fine. I would have boosted it with over 200,000 miles because this thing, when they opened it up, it was in perfect shape, minus the slight rod. Everything else was perfect. And yes, I have a video and documentation of how everything went down and how I stick by these motors. So go check out my channel and find the video. I did say that I told him the B-heads love boost, specifically centrifugal boost. And I said that, the C-heads do a lot better in A, and they do a lot better with like a root style setup, because it's true. Like these cars with the IMRCs, they help a little bit, but these cars don't produce a lot of torque. These heads just don't flow for torque at all. And unfortunately, the whole car is set up for a supercharger. So I don't have a really steep rear end gear. I have a 355 for the blower. The engine's set up for a blower. Like it's all designed to be set up for a specific purpose, which he gave me a lot of credit for, which was really nice. I forgot to even mention that, I'm still rocking the same T45 transmission that's been in the car since day one with over 200K, and David was ripping on it, boy. And the car shoots flames out back, and the dude had a ball, because I told him before we went rolling, I said, David, when you're at Watt, I said, this thing shoots flames. He goes, no, dude, that's sick. I was like, yeah. So he did it for the first time. He's like, dude. I was like, yeah, dude, I wasn't lying. Like, do it again. What was really cool is my favorite part about the whole day. He said that he loved the wing. He thought the wing was cool as hell. So all my haters can suck it. Nah, I'm just playing. Everyone's got their opinion, but listen, in all seriousness, like, I don't understand why the wing gets a lot of hate in the first place. It's really not that big of a wing. And I don't have my hood, but I'll have to show pictures and explain what I'm talking about. But if you look, let's see here. If you look at the silhouette of the car, the wing and the body slope downward. The body naturally slopes downward. And if I have my 4-inch cowl, if you can picture a 4-inch cowl, and connect the top of the hood through the body of the car and connect it to the wing, it lines up perfectly. It's all symmetrical. So that all looks phenomenal, right? And not to mention, track cars is the new style anyway. 350R, Shelby GT350, Mach 1 handling pack, Viper ACR, C7 ZR1 with the track pack, the regular ZR1, C7, ZL1 1LE. Like, track cars are the thing now. So what's the hate on having a big wing that looks like it's meant to be on a race car when this has race car inspired tendencies? I do not understand why people don't see that, but that's just me, I guess. Okay, so I think I talked a little bit about how the day went with David. It was a fantastic day, and he really gave me props on the car and enjoyed driving the car. He thought it was fun, and it's being set up correctly, and gave me a lot of props to me and my dad. So I can't thank him enough for all that. And before I go, guys, I do want to say that I did get, obviously, I got the On3 coolant crossover delete installed and finished, and this was a huge pain in my rear. They did not provide me the right bolts. See those gold bolts to hold the brackets? I had to go play bolt finder at Ace Hardware to get me the right bolt size to bolt these suckers down. And if you look, my stock IMRCs have been cut with an angle grinder, because the stock IMRCs, my metal ones, on both sides are cut. They wouldn't allow the brackets and the gaskets and everything to sit properly to be bolted down. I had to shave. You can see how cut up my bracket is, because I had to get both sides shaved on the bracket and shave off a lot of metal on the IMRCs on both sides. You can see there's some nicks over there. You guys can see it a lot better right there. I finally got all that taken care of, and the car runs good. It's got a slight leak. This hole, it really isn't that good. I tightened that down super tight, and it's still, you can see it's a little wet. It's not causing major problems or anything. The coolant's still fine, but it weeps out, unfortunately. So that's really not a good setup, in my opinion. It was a really big pain in the butt to get that thing to bolt down and be finished with it. So, but now that that's taken care of, all I have to do is find a set of injectors and piping, and we're good to roll. So I'll keep you guys informed on the blower update. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I think I talked quite a bit, but I just wanted to say I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Yeah, I love this car to death. I really do. It's been a great car in the family. Like, besides me just actually loving it, like, it's helped us in really, really tough times, believe it or not. This car has always been faithful for us, and it's always started and never given us problems. And God's been good to us with this car. It's been insane. So it's been a long ride for the car, but she definitely deserves it, and I cannot wait till she's finally done and I get all the little tweaks ironed out and get that blower and the hood on, and we go riding, boys. So stay tuned for more updates, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around, and stay tuned for more content. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.